Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Joel D. In this video, we're going to talk about finalizing your static pages and also your remaining blog posts. So now that we've got the whole content process going and we are publishing our first blog, we are going to want to take advantage of that. So first thing we want to do in this video is update our permalink structure. We haven't done that yet. And that's just saying right now our URLs are calling for page numbers instead of actually being able to utilize a permalink structure that can include keywords, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Next, we want to review, update, and or outsource our static page copy. I mean, our static pages aren't lengthy. We could probably just run through those and make the updates on our own that are related to your niche, and then make sure that you're linking each button so you don't want to miss anything when it comes to a call to action. Next, we are going to utilize our blog process that I talked about for 2 to 4 more posts at least. I would say 2 the minimum, but preferably 4. So I like to have 5 posts on the site within 30 days, but if not, at least 2. So we already have the long form content piece, so I would recommend at a minimum that you have a product ranking list and a single product review, just to get you in the mindset of creating that type of funnel and interlinking in between, because for one, all 3 are set up for SEO, so the on-page SEO is set up very well, and once we start getting backlinks and we provide guest posts that come back to our site, we're going to start ranking higher and getting more organic traffic. And when we do that, whichever way they get into our site, whether it be the long form, the product review, or the product rankings, we want to make sure that they're interlinking correctly in between all 3. So it's almost a way that we can create some sort of interlinking funnel. And next, we're going to ensure that all of our static pages are published. So once we get through all the updates, we want to make sure that they're not in draft mode and that they're published. And published meaning we're still not live the site, but the pages are ready to be live, so they're published. And once we click that button to go live, they'll be there. We don't want them in draft mode. Same thing with our blog posts. We don't want those to be in draft mode. We want to make sure everything's published. So let's jump back out to our dashboard. We're logged in, and what I want to do now is go first down to settings, click on permalinks, and we're going to make a quick change to our settings. So by default, you're set to this plain settings, and as you can see, the structure looks like this, dognerve.com, and the page is just labeled as a number. We don't want that. We want to have our post name. So what this is changing everything to is any page that you have will be directly related to your slug. So if you don't have a slug, they're going to auto default to your title, and then you can make some changes. Your title doesn't always have to match your slug. So we'll go through that when we start, getting into our blogs and all of our pages. It doesn't necessarily have to meet that criteria. So that's all you need to do. Come down and click Save Changes. And that is step 1 of the video. Done. Next thing we can do is we want to update our static pages. So a couple things you can do here. I'm going to just show you, the quick method of if you don't want to pay extra or for having it outsourced, which I wouldn't really recommend. You can, none of these pages have a ton of content, so you can go through all of them, and there's not many out there right now, and make the updates yourself. So for instance, if I wanted to make the updates to About Us, I would right click edit with Elementor, open a new link, right click the home page, edit with Elementor, open a new link, and kind of just go through these one by one, updating with the template that you have, or if you've made updates with Elementor for different elements. Again, I don't recommend you mess around too much with the elements for these templates because they're in good structure. I would recommend that you remove a lot of stuff that you don't need, but I wouldn't be shifting everything around. Again, we want to get up and running fast. Our content is what's gonna be important, not necessarily our homepage. We're going to be sending and getting traffic to our other pages. So what I mean by this is, if I'm on my homepage, don't start messing around with the format. I mean, you can if you want to make some tweaks, but for the most part, all I want you to do is go through each static page and update everything accordingly. So pet care services in New York City is not relevant. I can either remove this or put something else. So I'm gonna remove this, and I can actually delete the whole thing, and now I can just put in something that's more related to my long form content, because this learn more, especially up front when you only have a few articles, should go to your long form content, and that's the first blog post that we've created. So it's very niche right now and specific. I can update this CTA and call to action as I'm building my content out, and maybe I want them to go somewhere else. But for the time being, when you first launch, just make it all about that, the process of going down that funnel. So I want them to start with the long-term content, because you build more trust with that. You don't want to go right to a product review. You want to give them the substance of what you're trying to say, and then draw them either into the rankings or the product review. So I'm going to start off and just say, because ours is specifically related to separation anxiety, I'm going to have a separation anxiety hero title, which will be something like, you know, learn how to keep up, no, how to help your dog with separation anxiety. And that's it. I mean, it's simple. Learn how to help your dog with separation anxiety. So if they do fall on the homepage, they'll click learn more, and it'll go over to our blog post. So I'm going to click on the button, and I'm going to make sure that everything is linked. So anytime you see a button, make sure that it's linked and that the titles and copy are related to your niche. So I'm going to add I did rename those templates, so maybe it'll come up even though I've put them in draft mode. Yeah, they're not going to come up. So for yours, make sure they're in published mode, and that's part of this video. And also make sure that you're linking them within the button. So this is your long form article. Keep scrolling down, and like I said, anything you want to keep, say you like this section, either update the image if you want, update the text to meet your own, update the copy, or outsource it. And to outsource it, you do it the same way that I showed you with the blog post. It's obviously going to be it's going to be shorter, so it's going to be easier to lay it out. I don't really create a template for every page, just the longer ones. So what you can just do is, if you're keeping this and you don't want to think of anything, one, you could either send them the page and make it public momentarily while they're working on it, and tell them to kind of work through it for you with the layout that you have, or you can put any piece of content that you have in a spreadsheet as an example, and then say you need this related to dog separation anxiety. So similar to what we did in the other post. I'm not going to go through that again. So you can, again, just have two columns, one with example text where you just take this, copy it, put it in there, and label it the section 2 header, section 2 copy, and here's some example. Please give us, you know, copy related to our niche. Keep going down. This, for example, is about a product. I don't have that. I'm just going to right click here. If I right click this whole section, or if I right click on any of these elements, I can delete it, but I want the whole section gone. Right click, delete, and that gets moved up. So we're just shrinking down our page. We want to be clear and concise, especially when we first start and we only have a few articles. We don't really care. We don't want to pretend that we're huge and then have 2 articles. We want to really make it a micro niche website at first until we build out extra content. Here we go again. This doesn't really resonate. Again, it's a little overkill at this point. I have 1 article or 2 or 3 or hopefully 5, but even that, you can keep this, like you can relate it to anxious dogs, and then you can have, you know, 4 of the main issues with anxious dogs that you're, or the main problems or solutions that you're providing for those anxious dogs. Again, be creative, and then you can link. Again, make sure you're linking every CTA that you see. That includes text links. All right, or remove them and just keep the content. Keep going down. I would keep something like this, and I would add my own, I would change review us and say connect with us, and put in my own links, and we already did that, so you can copy that from your footer, which is down here, and you could either copy the links or copy the whole thing and throw it in there. Again, just quickly iterating it. You don't want to spend too much time on this. It's, again, not the most important. We want the content to be the most important. Testimonials, I definitely don't need that. So I'm gonna delete the whole section. And wish to take a free trial, we don't have that, but I will keep this, and just in case they scrolled all the way down, you give them that CTA. I'll keep that CTA and make that my long form content too. Okay. For this section or sections like this, if you have a different template, you may want to incorporate your other articles that you do have. Like say we had 2 other articles, you could label something like check out our 10 best products in this category, or check out this is our favorite bed to use. If you can do that organically without it being too pitchy, I recommend doing that. But if not, I would just leave that out for now and just draw them into that main piece of content. It's going to get, you know, the ball rolling once they get into that. Okay, so that would be my, once I make that update, I'll update this as well, because I did make some updates even though I'm not updating the copy because you don't have the time. I would do that, and then I can just X out of there, go to the next one, who we are. If it's just you, here's what I'm about. If you want to add this, or we could remove the page altogether if you don't care about having an about page. I suggest you keep it. Again, it brings good relativity to your audience, and they can learn a little bit about you before they decide that they want to engage. So I recommend keeping it, but then again, there's not a ton of content. You're just updating a few paragraphs at a time, and just make it your own. So again, you make this, update it, make changes, update, and X out and go on to the next one. And there shouldn't be too many pages for you starting out. Okay. Also, while we're here, you're going to want to make sure every page that you want to be visible is published. So as you can see, if you see draft and you want this to be published, you need to publish it. The quick way to do that is just quick edit, change this to published, click update, and I'm going to do that for the privacy policy. Why not? Even though it's not live. For privacy policy, what I do recommend, that you should have a terms and conditions privacy policy at a minimum, and you're offering affiliate programs, you're going to need an affiliate disclaimer. I would reach out to a lawyer for that. I'm no lawyer, so I don't want to provide you with any advice on that. There's plenty of options out there on Google too. If you search for free privacy policy or free terms and conditions or free affiliate disclaimer, you'll find some stuff that you can utilize and to your advantage if you don't want to hire an actual lawyer. But it's always good to consult with a lawyer just to make sure you're following all the rules. Also, if you're going to be in an Amazon affiliate, or an Amazon associate, you're gonna have to have a separate Amazon one. And again, I would go to their terms and just read that, and they'll tell you what you need to do to put on your website. So you need to let people know that you're, promoting things and getting affiliate commissions, but that's how you're driving revenue to your site, and that's how you're earning, that's how you're creating a business and providing this content, because you need to be funded. So it's not telling them that you're scamming them, it's just saying what it is, which is you create content, you provide value, and here's how we're getting compensated, and it's no additional cost to you. All right, so moving on, we're going to go now to posts. So now that we have and I'll switch over quickly to the PowerPoint. So we updated our permalink, we reviewed, updated, or if you want, you can outsource those static pages. We went through those pages in a quick, easy way. Again, update it as much as you can, and update as many images as you can, and make it your own. Then for utilizing our blog process, that is just, doing what we did the first time and making those templates, fit for your niche and fit for your structure if you made changes. That's all that is. And then you can outsource it, or you can write them yourself if you don't want to spend the money. Ensuring static pages are published, that's what I just talked about with the drafts. And then publish remaining blog posts. So once we do get these extra blog posts, you're going to want to make sure those are published as well. And what I'm going to do here is show you something real quick as well, which is, now that I'm in post, you can see I made some edits to this. So I renamed them template, and now they're all in draft mode. I was publishing them just so I can get a better view without having to take the extra clicks. So all I did after was come back, quick edit. So if you were following along exactly like what I was doing in the last videos and you want to make those templates, I just renamed it simple template. There we go, messed that up. Single product review, and then I changed the slug to, turned it to draft. It was published, clicked update. That's it. And this pretty much wraps up our video. So just heading back over, really quick recap: change the permalink, outsource or update those static pages that don't have much copy, remove any section that you think is irrelevant right now, stay really focused on your key, your niche in that key piece of content, which is the first long form piece we've created. Make sure that your main CTA on your homepage goes to that long form content, and start the process of creating those 2 to 4 more posts, preferably 4, preferably a product ranking and a single product review for your first long form content piece, and then 2 more I would recommend long form. Don't go right into more product stuff. I would do 2 more long forms. That's what my goal would be for the first 30 days. You have 3 long form pieces, and then you start incorporating the product stuff and the reviews into those 3 main pieces. Last, making sure everything's published. So when we do go live, you have no doubt everything's published. And again, that includes publishing those remaining 2 to 4 posts, preferably before we go live. But if it's after, that's okay too, because 30 days is pretty quick to get that amount of art, that amount of content up. But we're doing awesome. And as you can see, this video is shrunk down, and you can start seeing the pieces come together. We put the hard work in up front, and now we start streamlining and doing things in a much easier way. So the products, the pages are going to be complete, your posts are going to be complete, and then it's just, repeating the process. And but we don't have to recreate the wheel. Now it's just, downhill from here. So awesome progress we're making, and everything should be shaping up for you. Hopefully you're getting those pages in the right structure you want them, and that content is just freely going into the template that we have. So all right, we will see you in the next video. Hope you like this. Hopefully it was pertinent to what you're doing, and reach out if you have any questions again, and reach out on Facebook within our group so we can engage and keep you on the right track. All right, thanks everyone. See you in the next video.